Hey, we're the Grubmasters, and we are delighted to be part of Camp Kinda Like It again. Today, we're going to do something for a little bit more of an intermediate audience today. We thought what we would do is make an amazing chicken bacon ranch pizza with a no-cook sauce on the grill. Going to cook the entire meal on a grill. And what kind of grill is that?
That's a Weber grill, but charcoal grill.
Charcoal.
Could I do this when I'm camping?
Yeah, so you could do it camping if you wanted to. You just need to get a good clean grate, and you could spread it across some number 10 cans, some rocks, whatever, you know, to get it up off the coals, and there's no reason why you can't do this.
Awesome.
And we've definitely got a little bit of gear here. You could definitely minimize this. You know, you just need a spatula. You don't even need a pizza peel if you didn't want to. It makes things a little bit easier.
And you could also do this at home on your gas grill if you're trying to cook at home and make this pizza for your family.
Right. Now, we are going to do our chicken tenders and our bacon right on the grill grates to show you that literally you could cook the entire meal there. You could also do that at home, package it up in a deli container, you know, a Ziploc bag, throw it in your cooler, and it's just good to go when you get to camp. Okay, so I'm going to drop my coals, and the way that I'm going to do this is I'm going to drop them into just 1/2 of the grill. And we have no place to put that, Carl, when it's done, so we're going to have to run that over to... Thank you. Yeah, could you just dump that there and run it over to our Dutch oven table? We didn't think that far ahead. Beautiful. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take these coals and I'm going to push them all up to that one side. And really the reason for doing that is we're going to want to kind of create 2 zones of cooking. We're going to have the hot zone on the grill and the cool zone on the grill. And that allows me to kind of work. If I put something over there and it's cooking a little too fast, I could always pop it over to the cool side of the grill. So it just gives us a lot of options. And certainly when we're going to be cooking this pizza, we don't need it underneath 900 degrees of burning charcoal. So we're going to definitely want to cook it on the other side. So kind of indirect heat. So I'm going to pop my grill grate on. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my bacon and I'm going to take just half this packet. And that is going to go right on the grill. And then I'm going to take my tenders and they're going to go right on the grill too. And that's that. So now we will clean up our mess and we'll cook off our meat.
So as you're cooking your bacon and using the tongs to flip it over to cook the other side, be very careful. You don't want your bacon falling between those grates. We all know how easy it is for a hamburger patty to fall down through. A lot easier with a piece of bacon.
And of course, the bacon is a lot thinner than these chicken tenders, so this is pretty much done, and I'm going to pull those off now and set them on our plate to cool a bit. And these tenders will be just a few more minutes, and I've got the tenders on the hot side of the grill now. Just trying to sear them up and cook them all the way through. All right, our tenders are done, so we're going to pull these guys off. And what we're going to do is we're going to let these just cool down now. So I'm going to set them off to the side. This is actually one of my favorite parts of making this meal. And it's fun because you get to use your hands and squish stuff up. Since I'm serving other people, I am going to throw on a pair of gloves. Actually, we have a hand wash station set up over there, but it's always a good idea when you're camping to have some gloves on because you just dispose of them really easy, especially like when I was handling the raw chicken there. Okay, so our sauce is very simple. You're going to be amazed, and it's no cook. So I've got some fire roasted diced garlic tomatoes, and I'm just going to simply open up this can. As soon as you crack this can, you can smell that garlic. It is amazing. I love it. Okay, so, God, it's so good. It's going to go right into my bowl. Whole thing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it just a little shot of oil for richness. Just a little bit. And throw in some crushed red pepper. It's chicken bacon ranch. It's always good to have a little heat on it, sort of like a buffalo chicken type vibe. And I can put just a little bit of Italian seasoning in, not too much. And of course, you make it your own. You season it to taste. I'm not going to need that anyway. I'm going to take my good old hand and I'm just going to kind of squeeze and try to pulverize these tomatoes up the best I can. And this is our sauce. It's all that there is to it. We're going to spread it on our pizza when it's time, and it's going to be delicious. You want to be a little careful because these tomatoes will spray all over you. It's just something so satisfying about crushing these tomatoes. God. And you're kind of mixing at the same time. You're getting all those tomato chunks broken down. And that's it. You don't have to go too crazy with it. The less crazy you go, the little chunkier it'll be. And that's it. All right, as far as dough goes, I have nothing special here. I have some grocery store dough. I threw it in this bucket just so that it would proof up. You can put it in a sheet pan, cover with a piece of saran wrap, and you just want it to kind of proof, really soften up. So I'm gonna just take my dough out, throw it there, get this off to the side, and I'm just gonna lay down a little bit of flour, two places. One on my pizza peel. A little windy today. And then I'm going to put a little on top. You don't want to put too much, just enough to keep it from sticking. I'll hit this side. And all I'm going to do now is I'm going to work my dough and stretch it. I like to use kind of my knuckles. And you don't want to use your fingers, you'll poke through. But if you use your knuckles, you make fists underneath the dough. You could just spread it like this. And really, gravity's doing all the work. Okay, the dough is pulling itself down, and I'm just kind of manipulating it around. Lay it down, find out where it's thick, and give it a little bit more of a press. Want to get it somewhat thin. If it's too thick, you're going to end up with a loaf of bread with pizza sauce on top of it. And it's towards the edges that it will be thick, so I like to just give them a little tug. If you rip, it's not a problem. You can just repair it. Just kind of knit it together by pressing the dough back together. So I'm pretty happy with this. I'm going to get it on my peel. And now I'm going to take and I'm going to put it on the indirect heat side of the grill. Now that my dough is on the indirect side, I'm going to just throw the lid on. What I'm really doing here is I'm trying to bake that dough, and I want to get the bottom just a little bit of a head start. So just a couple minutes. We'll lid up and we'll check back when it's crispy on the bottom. It's been a few minutes. I've rotated this a couple times, and all I'm going to do now, because it's pretty close, it's getting a little firm, is I'm going to kind of rotate it on and off the heat till I could get kind of that little bit of level of crispness on the bottom, and I'll show you when it comes off what I'm looking for. we're pretty good at this point. I'm going to pull it off. See how it's kind of standing up? That's what you want. And now I'm going to take it and I'm just going to flop it down onto my flour peel. So this is what we're looking for. It's just a little bit browned and can you hear that? It's crispy. That's what I want. So I'm just going to let this hang out here. I'm going to slice up the chicken and I'm going to get our cheese. All right, so now I'm going to take my sauce and I'm going to just lay that on top of our beautifully browned pizza dough here. And give it a little spread. And this is what I like. It's a little bit of a rustic pizza because it's on this, you know, oblong, weird shaped dough that I cooked on the grill. It's going to be nice and crispy. It's going to be fantastic. All right, onto that is going to go my cheese. Perfect. And some chicken. Just going to take my chicken. I'm just going to give it nice little slices. I'll try to cut it diagonally. What I like to do is I like the piece to be a bite size. And I don't think we could have cooked this chicken any better. It is nice and juicy. Okay. So now I'll lay my chicken on. Now the star of the show, the bacon. You can always rip your bacon up if it's a little too big. And that is that. So now we're going to go back onto the grill. Now that she's back on the grill, it's really just more of the same. We're going to kind of keep the cover on. We're going to rotate it every once in a while on and off the hot coals, whatever you need to do to kind of get it to cook the way that you like it. I like mine nice and crispy, and obviously we're hoping to melt all the cheese. So throw the lid on. We'll check back in a bit. Oh man, doesn't that look pretty? What do you think?
I think it looks great.
Looks pretty good. Not bad for the first pizza. We usually perfect it on the fifth one. Little drizzle of ranch.
Okay, what was that? That was about a pound of dough?
Yeah, that was a pound of dough. So truth be told, I bought a 5-pound block at Costco. I love the dough that they have there. It's probably different maybe in your region, but here it's Pinella's dough, top-notch stuff. I cut that in half, so 2.5, and then I cut it into kind of 2 pieces, and I picked the smaller ball out. Yep, so it's probably about a pound-ish. Certainly you could stretch it a little thinner if you want. And I like to start it on the one side, get it crisped up, head start, flip it over. And now I know that my dough is pretty well cooked through. Everything's melted nicely. Let's dig in.
I think it's time.
That's my spin move. Most guys have spin moves like a karate thing. This is my spin move. Nice.
Wow.
Man. Crust on the bottom. Perfect.
That is awesome.
How about that sauce?
Sauce, how about that bacon?
I love that sauce. There's nothing to cook. It's not bubbling on the stove. It's dump out of a can, little oil, factored up with a couple little spices. I'm not getting a lot of crushed pepper. It's just an accent here.
Now, you know, you could have cooked your bacon at home and brought it with you, but you never would have had that smoky flavor that you get from cooking it on that grate like you did.
You just got to be careful. You know what's helpful? Longer tongs. I wish I brought my longer tongs because it will flare up with you if you're not careful, but you just got to keep moving around, work it. If it's too hot, move it to the cold side. Let it cool down. Let the flame die down, go back.
And use your Dutch oven gloves.
Yeah,
They'll help you
absolutely.
as
Yep. God, I mean, you could take literally anything, put it on pizza dough, and it becomes magic. And it's just fun to do on the grill. So, God, I hope you give this a shot. Get out there and cook.
well. Enjoy some pizza.
Pizza, pizza. Oh, that's gonna be a copyright strike.